Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Map Texans. John and Lance here. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our Texans content right here. Given that the Texans are sitting at number 2 in the AFC Southland, is it possible that Nick Caserio could be a buyer at the trade deadline?
Ooh, good question. Yeah, I think it is actually. And I think you do that if you consider there to be look, this isn't a rental situation. You're not trying to playoffs or bust. You're building towards something. But if you see someone that you believe can be part of your team over the next 2 or 3 years, absolutely. Why not look into it? I think the price needs to be reasonable, obviously. But if it's a younger player, 20 inside of 25 years old, maybe what I'm talking about. 5th, 6th rounder, absolutely. If you want to go for somebody maybe that's a little bit better, you might go as high as a 3rd round pick if you believe that player is going to be someone that you can, it can be part of your core unit, or at least on the very verge of being a core player. Maybe you would go as high as a 3rd rounder, but you'd have to really like that player. But yeah, why not? You have some holes to fill. You're better than expected, and it's not about just this year. It's about building for the future.
Well, right. You'd have to see the signability, make a little deal maybe with his agent beforehand, whether or not, hey, are you open to, and what kind of money are we talking about to sign him for longer term? Does he want to be here? All of those things. Let me throw out a few names because these are the names that are being bandied about, and you say yay or nay.
Okay.
Cortland Sutton.
Nah.
Wide receiver Broncos. The wide receiver room isn't great, but he's not. You need a number 1 guy, I think. You would really like a number 1 guy and a speed guy. Speed is killing right now, and I'm not sure Cortland Sutton is that guy.
Well, he wouldn't be bad because they give you 2 big receivers. One's, Nico can be a field stretcher. Believe it or not, he actually is pretty fast, and it gives him a chance to win ball. That would put him in a position where he wouldn't have to handle all the possession catches. So it might be interesting, but I wouldn't want to overpay for something.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to take – Tank is coming back. I don't want to take snaps away from him either. He's been playing a lot on the outside, and if you got him, Woods, and Nico right now, I think that's fine. Brian Burns, Panthers.
Yeah, I consider Brian Burns, yeah.
Yep. Derrick Henry.
No.
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat is a guy that he's a core piece. So yeah, I would be interested. I think you want to check on some football character stuff with him, but yeah, he's a guy I would look into.
Chase Young.
Yes.
Absolutely.
He's expensive. He'll be expensive.
And what do you give up for Chase Young?
I think that I don't want to give up a future first for Chase, because you're going to have to give a really big contract as well. So I might be willing to give up a second and maybe even a future second.
Wow. That's a heavy price. Now you got to know that he's going to sign.
Yeah, that's all part of the deal. I mean, you don't make this deal unless you know you can sign him.
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you listen. You're putting pressure on the quarterback right now. You're not getting to him, and you need to start to get to him. And I think Burns and Young and Hunter fill those. The question is, what do you give up? Because you're not going to win. You got a chance to make the playoffs right now. You really do. You've got a chance, especially with your schedule. But making the playoffs is not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to build a team with a lot of good players that will get you toward a championship team. Those guys could get you there, but they got to be long term. You can't give up draft picks and not sign these guys.
No, all these questions, I have to know I have to know the signability, and you're right. It all depends on what does the money look like, what does the compensation look like. What are the health factors going on with some of them? Because Chase Young, that is a consideration. You have to be okay with him from a health standpoint. But I do think ultimately, John, the Texans are in position that it's not this isn't like a baseball move at the break. You could actually strengthen your roster moving forward and do it before the draft. You can actually do it before trade deadline. So it is something at least to consider.
Yep.